Straight ahead on 12 News, changes coming to Crystal. A look at the multi-million-dollar renovation project underway. Then, music comes full circle. The story behind the spike in record sales. But first, the manufacturing of medical marijuana and how Maple Grove will play a role in the distribution process. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. The Minnesota Health Department has announced the two companies that will lead the state's new medical marijuana program.
They are Minnesota Medical Solutions and Leafline Labs, and there will be 8 distribution centers around the state, including one in Maple Grove. And Cassie Bonstrom joins us now with more. Cassie?
Well, Mike and Alex, the two companies were chosen from a pool of 12 candidates, and now they'll have to move quickly to have medical marijuana available to patients by July of 2015.
At a press conference in St. Paul, officials with the two companies said their months of planning and preparation had paid off.
It's a monumental day for the patients of Minnesota and the thousands of individuals that will soon have much needed access to safe, consistent, and high-quality medical cannabis.
By July 1st of next year, Minnesota Medical Solutions, also known as MinMed, and Leafline Labs will grow and provide medical marijuana to approximately 5,000 people with certain medical conditions. Leafline Labs will manufacture the cannabis in Cottage Grove. They'll begin distributing first in Eagan and then expand to Hibbing, St. Cloud, and St. Paul in 2016. MinMed already has their manufacturing facility ready in Osseo, built before even knowing if they were chosen. By July, they'll have 4 distribution facilities in Maple Grove, Minneapolis, Rochester, and Moorhead.
We feel that our plan and the way we're going about doing this business for Minnesota is of the most excellent quality.
For some, however, there are still more questions than answers.
I think the unknowns are the real concerns right now.
Maple Grove Mayor Mark Stephenson wants more details about the logistics of running the distribution center in his city.
I don't know enough about it at this point in time, how it's going to operate and what the law is going to require. But we're going to have some concerns that we have to have addressed and figure it out from there.
MinMed officials say the next 7 months will be a learning experience for everyone, but they feel they're prepared to do what it takes to make it a success.
We're excited for the opportunity to really do this right.
Now, officials for the two companies reiterated how controlled this program will be. Mike and Alex, anyone interested in medical marijuana will first need to be certified by their healthcare provider, and then they will have to register for the program before they will be even eligible.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Cassie. A Brooklyn Center church is hoping to recover a trailer stolen from its parking lot last week. Church members at Brooklyn United Methodist Church believe the trailer was stolen late Tuesday. It was locked up, but that didn't help as someone apparently drove away with it. The trailer is important for picking up merchandise used in the church's 3-day mega sale each July. The annual event raises money for the church and community outreach efforts.
We use the trailer year-round for picking up furniture, merchandise, which is used in our mega sale. Last year we picked up, I think it was pretty close to 65 loads with that trailer alone to put into our furniture tent that we have during our big mega sale.
The trailer is black. There it is, 6 feet by 10 feet with silver trim. It is missing a fender on the passenger side. If you see it, you're asked to call Brooklyn Center Police.
A Plymouth man faces charges of fleeing a police officer. An officer attempted to stop the 23-year-old suspect near Highway 169 and County Road 81 in Brooklyn Park early Sunday morning. Instead, the man fled, and numerous agencies joined in to pursue the suspect. The chase eventually ended at Highway 252 and 85th Avenue. The driver tried to run away but was quickly tracked down. No one was hurt. A major renovation project in Crystal is giving a popular shopping center a new look.
In this week's Business Matters, a look at what's behind the facelift at the Crystal Gallery Mall. Just a week after opening, the new Starbucks in Crystal is serving up coffee made with its specialty brewing system. It's not the only thing percolating at the southeast corner of West Broadway and Bass Lake Road.
This is a heavily trafficked part of Crystal, kind of Main and Main.
Next month, a Noodles & Company and Great Clips will open in this new development. It's one phase of a larger project that will give the 30-year-old Crystal Gallery Mall a facelift.
This is bringing the mall into the 21st century.
The multi-million-dollar renovations are already underway. The enclosed 1980s-style mall is being transformed into a more modern shopping center with businesses brought out front with their own separate entrance.
You'll have a pull-in parking right in front of the storefronts, so a lot more convenient.
More parking spots and green space are also part of the project. It's private investment the city of Crystal welcomes.
It's great to see the confidence displayed with this level of investment in what was getting to be kind of an older shopping center.
A new base of potential daytime customers are also arriving next month, moving into the existing office component of the mall.
Metropolitan Council is taking the second floor of the office building part of the Crystal Gallery Mall for their Blue Line Light Rail Extension Project Office. That's going to have over 100 employees in the area.
The renovation should be complete by mid-2015.
Pull right in.
And leasing agent Mark Robinson says the private investment is already paying off.
Through this renovation and re-tenanting, we've taken the shopping center from about 35% occupied on up to about 90% occupied here.
And Anytime Fitness is one of the new tenants that will move into the renovated mall. Now that the holiday shopping season is underway, 'tis the season for trying to figure out what presents to give friends and family.
And one gift-giving idea is vinyl records. And as Eric Nelson found out, they are suddenly trendy again.
Just call it a record comeback.
There's definitely a warmer feeling with vinyl. You know, some people like the old vinyl where it's got pops and clicks.
According to Digital Music News, vinyl record sales have jumped 38% in 2014. And 8.3 million albums could be sold in the U.S. this year.
I think there's something just in the process of, you know, taking a record out of a jacket and putting it on the record player that a lot of people enjoy.
From the Beatles to Three Dog Night to Led Zeppelin, the spike in record sales proves that what goes around comes around. Suddenly, CDs are no longer vogue, as their sales are dropping.
I like to have physical copies of the music I buy, and CDs they feel pretty disposable now. Whereas with vinyl, I feel like I'm investing in something.
Vinyl is something a bunch of my friends and I have gotten into in the last couple of years. It's been a popular trend. It's something we do kind of as a hobby.
Yep, based on the sales numbers, it's vinyl record time once again. It's not just the old school vinyl records that are popular, such as the Monkees. The new school stuff is also flying off the shelves, such as Churches. On Black Friday, some 70 people waited in line at a local down-in-the-valley music store just to get new vinyl releases.
Not for some, you know, doorbuster sale, but just for the limited edition vinyl. They're buying more indie rock stuff you hear on The Current, stuff like that on vinyl.
All of which proves that the music business has come full circle. In Golden Valley, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Another reason for the rise in vinyl record sales is that for some people, it is a connection to the past. For a lot of people.
Absolutely. Go for the old or the new, it
That's
sounds
right.
like.
Coming up on 12 News, a look at Cyber Monday. Does the day really produce better travel deals? We'll find out next.
And then a little bit later in sports, two of the top teams in Class A boys hockey go head-to-head in an early season face-off.
But first, a warm-up coming this week. We promise. Tuesday will still feel cold, just not as cold as today. You might say ho-hum rather than a jolly ho-ho-ho. That's how the National Retail Federation sums up Black Friday sales.
The trade group reports a 5% drop in the number of people shopping in stores and online compared to last year. Per person spending also dropped over the 4-day holiday weekend from $407 last year to $381 this year. It is expected to be a similar story for Cyber Monday. However, it doesn't necessarily mean bah humbug for retailers. The nature of 24/7 online shopping and the improving economy may have shoppers feeling less frantic about chasing deals.
Speaking of Cyber Monday, today isn't only about looking for deals to put under the Christmas tree. As Delane Cleveland reports, shoppers are looking for something a little extra to make us forget about the early start to winter.
Well, it's cold, but it's the start of winter in Minnesota.
Officially, winter hasn't begun just yet, but with the Arctic blast that's descended upon the state, It doesn't matter what the calendar says.
Yeah, it's going to be a long winter.
With weather like this, even the hardiest Minnesotans can have a hard time embracing the season.
We go to Fort Myers in the winter time. We just didn't know it was going to start so soon.
Pat Munster Tiger's husband has already made the reservations for Florida.
We love the beaches.
And on this Cyber Monday,
So I'm working on several couples going to Mexico.
travel agencies are finding plenty of other people following their lead.
Anything beyond January is when people just want to get out of here. They want to get out of the cold. They want a week of warmth and sunshine on the beach. And so I really think that we're busy from now through March.
Nora Bloom is a travel agent with Travel Leaders in Maple Grove.
I've already made 2 bookings this morning.
She found Cyber Monday deals offered for international and domestic flights through Sun Country Airlines, and on Delta, discounts to international destinations such as Cancun.
Sometimes it can be $50. Other times I've seen it as high as $500 or $1,000 per couple.
That said, these travel deals aren't necessarily exclusive to Cyber Monday.
I did see some really good sales on Black Friday, and I was able to help one couple save almost $1,000 on their vacation.
Essentially, the savings are there for anyone wanting to make the great escape and break up the frigid Minnesota winter.
It's been important to us for quite a long time.
In Maple Grove, Dwayne Cleveland, 12 News.
If you missed out on booking that warm weather winter vacation, don't worry. Some of those Cyber Monday discounts actually run through Wednesday. And for a link, you can go to our website at 12.tv. Well, coming up, a Maple Grove teen's crowning achievement.
But first in sports, John Jacobson has the story of a strong girls basketball team taking the floor again this winter at Hopkins. That and more when we come back.
The Totino-Grace boys hockey team reached the state Class A tournament last winter. The Eagles faced a couple of tough northern Minnesota teams over the weekend. Eagles taking on defending Class A champions from East Grand Forks. First period of this game, Kyle Brote to Blake Vogley to Joey Bray cruising down the slot for a goal, and the Eagles take a 1-0 lead. Later in the first, the Green Wave turn it over. Cam Fagerly pokes it ahead to himself. He'll slide it into the East Grand Forks net, and it's 2-0 Grace. But the Green Wave rallies in a big way. Dixon Bowen with a shot on the short side in for a goal. It's the first of 4 straight goals for East Grand Forks. And here comes another. Bowen with a nice give and go with Tanner Tweeten. The Green Wave is in front 3-2. Coach Mark Orr's team is down 2 goals when Ryan Johnson passes to Sam Henches and then back to Johnson for the goal. And this one makes it a 5-4 game, but East Grand Forks scores an empty netter. Grace falls 6-4. The Eagles also lost to Thief River Falls on Saturday. The Breck girls hockey team won its first 6 games of the season before losing to Chaska last Tuesday. The Mustangs look to bounce back Saturday on the road against a tough Edina team. First period of this one, and the Hornets' Grace Bowlby circles in from the blue line, snaps a shot in just under the crossbar. Nice goal, and it's 1-0 Edina. Later in the first, the shot from the blue line gets through to Gabrielle Billing, who backhands in a shot while falling down. Nice goal for the Mustangs. They trail at 2-1 after 1. Second period, Edina's Taylor Williamson with a rush on the puck. She'll go to her backhand and beats the goalie, puts the Hornets up 3-1. Final seconds of the second period, Grace Zumwinkle. Great move, she goes in and scores. That makes it 4-2, but Edina scores the only third period goal, and the Hornets win 5-2. Basketball teams are also getting the season started with some good early matchups. The Hopkins boys taking on Benilde-St. Margaret's in the semis of the Hopkins Early Bird Tournament. Benilde's Sam Baker letting it fly from long distance, nails the 3. The Red Knights trail the Royals by 8. Good passing for Hopkins here as 4 players touch the ball. Vincent Shahid gets it to Greg Warshaw. He scores to make it 38-25 Royals. Off the Benilde-made basket, the Royals answer. Shahid, Amir Coffey, who splits the D and scores. Hopkins' press will pay off. The slow bounce pass picked off by Coffey. He knows what to do with it. Coach Ken Novak and the Royals lead 55-31 at halftime. Second half, and the Red Knights turn it over. Shahid throws it ahead to Coffey. Back to trailer John Warren for the big dunk. He scores 22 points total. And then in transition, it's Wyatt Johnson using the shot fake. He'll drive in and score the layup. Hopkins rolls past Benilde 94-51. One day later, though, the Royals lost in the championship game in that tournament to Champlin Park, 90-86. JT Gibson led 6 Champlin Park players to score in double figures with 26 points. Amir Coffey netted 36 in the loss for Hopkins. The Hopkins girls beat Osseo in the semifinals and then Prior Lake in the championship of the early bird tournament. Nia Holly and TT Starks each scored 18 points for Hopkins. Osseo beat Tartan to win the third place game. Local wrestling teams are also getting their seasons going at the Ken Droegemueller Invitational, named for the late Osseo head coach. Minnetonka edged out Wayzata for the top spot with 170 team points. Moundsview placed third, followed by Buffalo, Monticello, and the host Orioles. Carson Brolsman of Osseo was named the outstanding wrestler at the tournament. As you saw a few moments ago, the Hopkins girls basketball team is off to a 2-0 start. The Royals are always a contender to win state, and this year shouldn't be any different. The Royals returned 4 of their 5 starters and will have a deep bench as well. Hopkins made an early exit last year, losing in the Section 6 4A semifinals. And that's something the girls remember, but they don't dwell on.
I think we have high expectations for ourselves, so that makes us work even harder. Like, I don't know, I think we expect that of ourselves, so like we come here and we work just as hard as we do any other time.
Going into it, you know, we have high expectations. It's going to be very difficult, probably the toughest section in the state, toughest conference in the state. So with that, you know, we know every night we need to be ready to play. As well as our non-conference schedule, we play everybody. We play Eastview twice, Park Center, Osseo, Maple Grove. So we're playing the best of the best.
Hopkins' first road game of the season is Tuesday night at Shakopee, and then they'll return home for another game on Thursday.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a tiara for a local team.
And we'll show you a Maple Grove teenager's big day when we come back. And finally tonight, one happy young lady in Maple Grove.
A panel of judges selected Hayden Hammond as Miss Minnesota Teen USA. She is the granddaughter of megachurch leader Mac Hammond. The competition was based on 3 categories: evening gown, swimwear, and interview. Hayden Hammond will now go on to compete in the Miss Teen USA national pageant that will be held in the Bahamas. And past Miss Teen USA winners include television host Vanessa Manillo, now Vanessa Lachey, of course, and CBS sportscaster Allie LaForce. Hayden thanked her parents for every countless thing they did to make this happen. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. And good luck, right?
That's right. That does it for us. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow.